You're listening to the Junto Podcast, a podcast about leadership, faith, community, and pretty much anything else that you want to talk about. Visit us at www.juntopodcast.com. That's JUNTO podcast.com. Thanks for stopping by and enjoy the show. Crazy state laws, from not being able to put a donkey to sleep in a bathtub or not being able to send a surprise pizza to a friend in Louisiana. Episode 98 of the Junto Podcast. That's right, the Together Podcast. And but being that it's Memorial Day, all things America, and it happens to be raining for the 100th consecutive day here in Arkansas. At least what it feels like. We're talking all things crazy laws here in America, and Heather, crazy stuff still on the books.
That's crazy. I would appreciate a surprise pizza from a friend. Right.
I'm glad I don't live in Louisiana.
Right.
That's harsh.
Goodness. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, go for it.
Excited to get into these. I think we're going to find some really weird things, I didn't mean to say things, weird laws that are on the books. And I guess they just got left on the books and they're just still there. Is anybody reviewing the books?
Who's reviewing these laws, and how do you get them off the books? And
get some updates.
Exactly. And so with that, just something lighthearted, a reprieve.
Yes.
Welcome back to the Junto Podcast if you're a regular attender, but if not,
welcome.
If you're just joining us, typically we talk a lot of mental health things, marriage, children, mental health, just real life scenarios, spiritual stuff, miracles, all of that stuff. But today we thought it would be funny and fun just to do a lighthearted reprieve from what we typically do. And so with that, Heather, what did you find for us in terms of crazy laws?
Nice. Yeah. So, we love our resources.
We do. Got to have them.
Gotta have them. On Good Housekeeping, I remember when Mom used to get that magazine.
I know. That's what I was thinking about.
We would get it at the house, and I like looking through it. Got recipes and all that stuff. But this is an article about the 50 craziest state laws from around the United States. Probably won't get to all of them, but we'll pick the ones that we think are pretty crazy. Yeah.
Just in reading the opening excerpt or paragraph from this, I mean, my gosh, talk about a weird law. It's illegal for a donkey to sleep in a bathtub in Arizona. Now, first of all, who in the world would do that in the first place?
It's obviously happened before. So if there's a law, that means they needed to get something on the books because somebody was doing something crazy. So don't bathe your donkey in the bathtub.
Well, and don't let her fall asleep in the bathtub.
You said this is Arizona?
Yeah, Arizona. What do y'all got going on in Arizona?
It's real dry out there.
I guess.
They're like, don't waste your bathtub water on your donkey.
That is hilarious. And
you can wash your bottom, but you can't wash your...
Not your donkey.
The A word.
Yeah. And the longer we stay on the donkey, the bigger hole we're going to dig.
Let's just move
we
on.
should probably move on. I'm just curious, before we dive in, I'm curious to see if there's going to be a lot of southern states. For whatever reason, I feel like southern states just got really weird laws. I don't know.
Backwoods? Is that what you want to say?
Maybe. But I'm from the South, so I can say that.
Right.
If you're not, we'll get you.
But Southerners.
That's right.
Love our heritage.
Always. But we crazy, okay?
We are. All right.
Number one.
In Alabama, it's illegal to drive blindfolded.
Wow.
Yeah. So obviously, someone was driving blindfolded, and they discovered that it's not such a great idea.
Gosh, if you stop and think about this mess, how in the world, like you said, in order for them to have taken the time, no matter how old these laws may be, for them to have gone through the entire legal process to create a law, whether it be state, county, city, whatever, they had to have encountered that at one point. So that's just wild to think about.
And it seems like it would have had to have happened more than once for it to be a thought, maybe we should make this a law.
Bro, who the heck in Alabama is driving blindfolded? I'm telling you, look, we're starting out already with a southern state. Alabama's a southern state.
It is.
Yeah, unreal.
Arizona Southwest.
Yeah, that's true.
But south.
But
nonetheless.
yeah, exactly. It's got a little south in there.
Yeah, so crazy.
All right, so we're going to move away from the South, and we're going to jump all the way over to Alaska. And
Alaska.
it's good to know y'all crazy there, too. So in Alaska, you can't put an animal in the back of an open vehicle. Maybe y'all aren't crazy. That seems logical to me
I
a little bit.
understand that one because we just saw someone with a dog in the back today, and I'm like, oh, he's leaning over the side. Like, the dog was fine. He knew what he was doing. He's obviously a professional rider in the
Don't
back
try this at home,
of the
said the
truck
dog.
bed.
Yeah.
However, for me watching this right in front of me, I'm like, oh, doggy.
Well, if I'm being honest, though, he looked like he wanted to jump a couple of times because they were at a stoplight. The dog is in the bed of a pickup truck. It's not in the back seat of a truck.
Open bed.
But open bed. And it looked a couple of times like he just wanted to hop over the edge.
To go. Yeah. Now, maybe he saw a rabbit or a squirrel or something. But think if someone hit him, rear-ended him, his dog could be really hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
I get that one.
Oh, my gosh.
I like that one.
Wow. Check this out. Jump down to number 4 because we already read number 3. Listen to
number
this.
4, Arkansas.
This is for us Arkansans. Heather, you read this one.
This can't be real.
I don't know. This is wild, though.
In Arkansas, nonetheless, you can't honk your horn near a sandwich shop after 9 p.m.
You can't honk your horn near a sandwich shop. So that would,
After 9.
After
You can
9
do it before
p.m.
9. Near the Lenny's or the American Deli, Subway, you can honk it.
You know what? I'm thinking, think about if we went back and did the research, and it might give us, I was going to see if it actually
Gave you some
told us
history,
when this was, It doesn't say, though.
Let's do our assumption.
Right.
How do you think this?
So I'm thinking small town Arkansas, 50s maybe, rowdy kids. And, this is where there weren't phones. There weren't, so people had to be out in their vehicles in order to be having a good time. And so you have
those
patrons.
that had vehicles.
Yeah, those that had vehicles. And so, I don't know, I just feel like probably riding around and being mischievous, honking horns. I don't know, maybe they said, we got to put an end to this.
Maybe this was like really early back when automobiles were just getting popular.
So I said the 50s. Oh.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
I said the 50s.
I would say even further.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Where would you say?
When folks started getting their own vehicles. I don't know. When was Henry Ford? When was the automobile invented?
Was it 30? The 30s, right? I don't know exactly.
Was it? Before that?
Y'all Google that. Yeah.
So maybe they're riding around just figuring out these automobiles. Not everybody's got a horn. Some do, some don't. And they're like, okay, it's late. Why are you riding around, first of all? I don't know. Don't honk your horn.
Yeah.
Near the sandwich shop. There's probably one sandwich shop in town.
That's what I'm saying. You're talking, this is probably in a small city in Arkansas. It's probably not a statewide law, but who knows? This could be a city ordinance.
Well, they're saying this is state laws.
Wow. Interesting.
Right.
So it was a thing. So I guess people were, I don't. When you think of, the reason it makes it feel old is because who says sandwich shop anymore? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm thinking of like a small business, owned by a family.
They cut the cold cuts.
the
cold cuts. The deli cold cuts.
She busted out cold cuts. All right.
Yeah, well, we're taking it back.
We're taking it back.
Go back. That's what they were called, cold cuts.
That's true.
Come get your cold cuts. Yeah.
All right.
Number 5.
Let's move away from Arkansas.
Let's go to California.
All the way.
Okay. It's illegal to whistle for a lost canary before 7 a.m.
Y'all, this is pathetic. Listen, I can't whistle with these braces at all.
I can't whistle at all. But if I could whistle, I feel like it would have been better than that.
Yeah, that was not good. So illegal to whistle for a lost canary. Mike, okay, first of all, will a canary listen? Like if you whistle for it, is it actually going to come back?
This has to have been a very specific canary.
And is there a trained
canary to hear his master's whistle
that would only recognize the master's
when he's lost.
That's right.
When he's lost.
Oh, this is wild, dude. Well, check this out. In Colorado, It's illegal to keep a couch on your porch.
I like this one.
It's illegal to keep a couch on your porch in Colorado.
I like this one. I don't think anybody should have a couch on their front porch.
On their front porch, yeah.
We've got one on our back porch, our back patio. It's screened in.
But it's screened in. It's in the back, and our backyard is fenced in. So the only way you could see it is if you come into our house and come into the back porch.
In a scenario where it would be on the front porch.
Why would it need to be on the front porch?
Yeah, not very sightly.
It's not sightly, and it's weird, and then you could just have people showing up and
sitting on it,
and sleeping on it. And
now, if you got one, it's okay. We love you.
Yeah, we love you. But listen, you can't do this in Colorado.
It would have to be a really nice couch.
Like if this is a deal breaker for you, like you have to have a couch on your porch, do not move to Colorado. I'm just saying, because they're going to get you. Okay, they're going to get you.
Oh, gosh. This next one can't be real. I'm calling this one, well, I was going to say BS. Fake.
Oh, man, you're hardcore.
Sorry.
You said BS.
Sorry. Do you want to read it? Do you want to read it?
Yeah, so in Connecticut, a pickle must be able to bounce. Let me read that again. A pickle must be able to bounce in Connecticut. That's a law. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about laws. Now, what does that have something to do with the ripeness of it or something? And we're talking about the little deal, not the big kosher.
The whole pickle.
Yeah, the whole pickle. Interesting.
In 1948, here's some history.
Okay.
2 men were arrested for selling pickles that were unfit for human consumption.
Unfit for human consumption.
Discussing ways to check for good pickles, officials declared that a pickle is legitimate only if it bounces. The pickles in question did not bounce, so the 2 men were arrested and fined, and the pickles were destroyed. So the reason for this, they were selling unfit pickles.
Does that mean people were getting sick by them?
They probably just weren't. They weren't. What's the word? They weren't good. They were going bad. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So they were softer. Didn't have that bounce.
Have you ever bounced a pickle?
I have not bounced a pickle.
Even accidentally.
I haven't
either.
A lot of pickles, but I've not bounced one.
Yeah, and that's why I'm wondering, like, who came up with it, that being the thing that determines what's good.
Right.
Yeah, that's...
It seems right, though. You know, the commercials with the Vlasic, that thing snaps.
I guess.
It's like a crispy, crunchy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fresh, that shows the freshness if it snaps.
That's right.
But if it's like chewy and you have to like bendy.
Wild.
It's not a good pickle.
Interesting. Well, bad news in Delaware. Check this out. Guys, I apologize if you live in Delaware. This is a shocker. But you cannot sell dog hair in Delaware. And so I know you feel bad. I know this is a bad thing. But in Delaware, you cannot sell dog hair. So, gosh.
So, you're trying to make yourself a toupee with the dog's hair.
These laws,
sell
man.
toupees with your dog's hair because they've got luscious fur.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
I'm trying to figure out what is the need for dog hair.
Maybe somebody wants to, like if a dog has mange.
Well, think about
and they're trying to patch their dog's hair up, and so they buy it from someone else's
That's fantastic.
dog.
But I had a revelation. Probably taxidermy. Because if your pet dies, your dog, a lot of people want to, for whatever reason, cremate, or not cremate, but they want to have it stuffed.
Right, stuffed. Yes, that's it.
And so maybe that's what this pertains to. But either way, it's bad news in Delaware.
I'm just wondering the harm.
That's a wild. Maybe it has something to do with superstition. Delaware, you're getting up there into the northeast.
13 colonies.
That's kind of where the witches and all of the stuff and the superstition. You would think it'd be cat hair though. Like black cats and stuff. Yeah, wild. Okay. Enough pandering, enough wondering about number 8 there.
Yeah. Do we want to do number 9? Do you want to skip number 9? We can do number 9.
Yeah, well, it's up to you.
We'll do it.
Okay, do it.
In Florida. I love Florida.
Oh,
legal parking fees toward animals must be paid.
Legal parking
read that
fees.
again.
Yeah.
Legal parking fees toward animals must be paid.
Toward animals. I don't get that verbiage.
Legal fees have to be paid for animal parking, like elephants, camels, and horses.
Elephants.
According to Country Living. This law took effect in the 1920s when the Ringling Brothers
Well, there you
Circus
go,
moved its
Ringling
winter show operation
Brothers.
to Florida. So the state was like, hey,
We gonna make some money off these Ringling Brothers.
right, they got all these animals and they park in these big old things taking up all this space.
And they using the potty right there on the roads.
That's even
You talking about
extra.
sanitation and things of that nature. So, man,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
That one makes sense.
The
That
tidbit
one makes sense.
of information. Wow. So we're going to scroll on down. These Hawaiians, man, sounds like they got some issues. Listen to this. In Hawaii, it's illegal to place a coin in one's ear.
Gosh,
In Hawaii, it's illegal.
how-
So what are y'all walking around just putting coins in people's ear? Wow.
Yeah, how many times has this happened that they got to put it on the books? Keep in mind, all these are still on the books.
Now, they are on the
in
books, and
these
that's what makes
states.
them strange. But here's some information on this.
Give us.
Yes, okay. So, magic shows must be boring in the Rainbow State. Apparently, this strange law was enacted to protect the Kingdom of Hawaii coinage when Hawaii officially joined the United States in 1900. So, maybe there was a coin shortage. But I still don't like
you
if you
put
place
that
it in
in
the
his
ear, you're
ear.
gonna get it back. Like what?
You wasted it. You
Right,
stuck it
like
in his
it's
ear.
not like it stays there. I thought
It
that was
must have
gonna.
gotten stuck.
Maybe I don't know. That's just wild, though.
And they're like, we can't afford to. How do you lose a coin in an ear?
Right?
What size? I don't know.
Yeah. What I mean,
cannot.
honestly,
I can't do it.
number 12 seems reasonable to me. Number 12 seems reasonable.
yeah.
You read that one. This is the first law that actually sounds reasonable, like an ordinance I could get down
This one
with.
makes me think of an HOA conversation we
Right.
had recently.
That's exactly right.
Was that last summer? Probably last
It was.
summer.
It was.
Okay. In Idaho, it's illegal to sweep debris into the streets.
That's logical.
It is. I don't think that one's
That's
crazy.
logical. You know, we had an issue here. I'm gonna spill
Just
the tea,
say it.
HOA.
Just say
I don't even
it.
care.
Just say it.
No, we had an issue, man. People cut their yards, but then they'll leave all their clippings in the street. Now, mind you, we just got a brand new road poured in our
Brand new
subdivision,
blacktop. Nice.
blacktop, last year. Our HOA dues, they pay for that stuff. And then people just cut their yard and
Leave it in the streets.
leave it in the streets. Like we pay fees. You want to live somewhere nice so that you can avoid all of those types of things. And so apparently somebody didn't like that. And they send a message to the HOA and just urging people, hey, man, everybody has a blower.
Well, it wasn't to the it was to the whole community.
To the community,
and
that's
said,
exactly
hey,
right.
we love our community. We want to keep it nice. Thank you, everyone, for keeping your yards nice.
That's what it's about.
Just want to mention it looks so much better when our nice new blacktop road is not covered in green grass clippings.
100%. 100%.
You know,
I don't know that I would have to be told to do that.
We've
and
never had
thankfully,
to.
we got some amazing people that live here. The
We do.
majority do not
We
do
do.
that.
We do.
But anyways, so this law to me in Idaho,
It makes sense.
and
makes
I would dare say, you know,
Yeah.
we need this one on the books here.
And also, debris could be anything from like screws
Debris,
to anything.
bruh.
Think about getting that in the street, and then you're tired, you run over it.
My
man.
gosh, what's wrong with people,
on,
man?
man.
Come on.
Piece of bark, you run over it, and it
Yeah.
throws it into somebody's.
Goodness
Face?
gracious.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This one seems like this should just already be a law. I don't know. I just wonder why it's so specific. In Illinois, it's illegal for underage culinary students to drink alcohol.
Well, that makes sense. When you're in culinary school, you're drinking with a lot of wines, a lot of bourbons, a lot of whiskeys.
Let me give you some background.
Okay.
Okay, this makes
Okay.
sense. Sorry, y'all. My stuff just refreshed. What number are we on?
12.
All right, I got it.
No,
Here.
13, I'm sorry.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
So in 2012, the state passed a law nicknamed Sip and Spit.
Ooh.
which allows
Sip and spit.
culinary students under 21 years of age to legally taste, by sipping and spitting it out, alcoholic beverages. That makes sense. Based on the reasoning that students need to learn how to taste wine during their early years of culinary
They do.
school.
It's crucial.
But they can't swallow. They can't drink it.
Okay. So they can sip and spit. They just can't swallow.
Right.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, well,
And
I
can
get
see why
that.
it's so specific,
and we want to
too.
protect. I mean, the law here of the land is 21 years of age, so I could see that. I will say this, too. I don't know about culinary school, but I know that when you work at certain restaurants as a server or what have you, you got to know the menu, because people ask, well, how does that taste? And specifically if you're working at a mid-level restaurant like Olive Garden or up to the fine ones, they want to know what wines go good with
What
things.
pairs well.
What
with
pairs
this
well.
meal.
And so I can attest that in training, when I was in college working at a restaurant during the training, man, they do get you lit. I mean, and you're just tasting the different wines. They're telling you about it. It's red, and before you know it, day 2 of training, and you're a little tipsy, you're a little buzzed. And so I can see why that this law would be on the books. So FYI.
Definitely.
Heather, I got bad news on the next one for you. This sucks, so don't move to Indiana. But it's illegal to ride a horse above 10 miles an hour in Indiana, so
Can't believe that.
I know that sucks for you.
Man.
You're a horseback queen.
Such a horse rider.
I know you are.
I do like to ride horses, but I'm pretty timid on horsey.
For sure.
And that one makes sense.
It makes sense.
You don't need to go fast.
I mean, you don't need to go fast on a
speed with
horse.
your
Come
horse.
on.
Man. Okay, this one.
What a shocker. Yeah.
Number 15. This one reminds me, or makes me think of the new, Final Destination movies that are coming out.
Well, they've been coming out.
They've been coming out, but there's a new one that's
Right.
out. So this one and if you've ever seen those movies, it's like something happens and it causes a chain reaction and other things happen and involves tons of people, weird accident type stuff.
That's exactly right.
That could, everyday things that could honestly happen.
Well, like for instance, you're behind a diesel truck that happens to be carrying a load of logs, or let's say steel beams. Stuff that is exposed and it's only being held onto the trailer by a strap or something of that nature, and it falls. Yeah, so
I always get away from.
I do too. Like I still can't get behind those.
Oh no! And that movie pops into my head when I see that every time.
Yeah, it's
we'll
true.
even say out loud, "Final Destination."
Final Destination. We're like, nope.
And even the girls are like, "Get away! Get away from that."
It makes sense.
In Iowa, you can't throw a brick onto a highway.
Wow. First of all, I got to say this, and I know kids do stupid things. When I say kids, I'm talking about young. But man, you really have to be either next level immature or just downright demented to do something like that. Man, because if you got to think about a brick, if it collides with a car going 50, 40, 60, 70 miles an hour, I'm sure that there are several people who have been killed by just people trying to pull a prank.
Can I read this?
Please, yes.
So this is just a little bit more.
I like
corn
more.
state. This
Corn
is talking about the corn
Iowa,
state.
Huskers.
So, throwing any kind of dangerous instrument, for that matter, onto a highway is prohibited unless you have written permission from the city council.
Oh, wow. So we can get written permission from the city council to throw bricks.
In what circumstance might you ask for permission? And in that circumstance, what would be allowed?
Wow. Goodness gracious.
I don't know, people.
Man, y'all better leave y'all's bricks alone. I'm just saying.
Put them down.
You put them
the
down. Put down the bricks. Step away from the bricks. Amen. All right, we're going to scroll on down a little bit. I would thought we would see Kentucky before now,
Oh, yeah,
because Kentucky's
let's
wild.
do Kentucky.
But we're going to jump down to Kentucky. So in Kentucky, a woman cannot marry the same man 4 times.
She can 3 times.
She can 3 times, but that 4th time is against the law. It is a law
They're
on
like,
the
no,
books.
you're too finicky. You're too fickle. Cutting you off, sister.
Unreal.
You're done. You either
Wow.
stay with them, or 4th time it's
Who would do that?
done.
Like you, Who's going to get, and I know it's happened. Like, well, let's just see what it says.
Yeah.
Kentucky forbids a woman from marrying the same man more than 3 times. Hopefully, third time really is the charm. So it's unbelievable.
I understand. You get married young. No. You hear me out. You get married young, and then, y'all make mistakes. You grow together, grow apart, get a divorce, come back later in life when you've grown up and you've matured, and you're like, okay, yeah, let's do this. Like, we can do this. Let's try this again.
No, I definitely.
I can understand.
I get that.
Remarry.
Twice, but 3 times? I'm just saying, that's just me. Right. Like, if it didn't work out the second time, bro, that's it. We gave it 2 good shots. Come on, we gone. We done. We done. In Jesus' name. I'm just saying.
Get it.
That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But, we are talking about Kentucky, so it is what it is.
So, obviously, it's happened, so.
We already mentioned the next one.
We did the pizza in Louisiana.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting a... Why are you... For some reason, I keep refreshing on accident.
Well, this is interesting. If you want your fortune told, a good place to go might be to Massachusetts.
Okay.
And it says that in Massachusetts, it's illegal to tell fortunes without certification. So listen, at least if you get your fortunes told in Massachusetts that they are certified.
They're certified.
Come on. Certified fortune teller.
How do you get certified for that?
Well, I believe, this is what I truly believe.
Tell us.
Truly believe that they go in, there's a panel of people, and they say, well, tell us what you think's going to happen to me. They come back a week later, and if that prophecy or if that fortune has come to pass, they certify them. That's just what I think.
Got you. So it's kind of like a week long. It takes a week.
It's a week. You do the initial application and interview.
Right.
Tell the fortune. If it comes to pass, you're good. You're certified.
It doesn't.
You move on to the next round.
You can't tell fortunes in this state.
I know.
Get out of here.
If you can't tell me what's going to happen in my life next week, you will not be certified.
Go to the next state over.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Isn't that wild? No, who knows how they get certified? But wouldn't that be a trip? Like, if that's actually how it worked?
It's probably an amount of money is what I would say.
Right.
Pay this. You're certified. Tell the future.
That's funny.
Oh, in Michigan, and I like this one. This one goes back to my roots.
To your
keep the Sabbath holy. Roots. In Michigan, you can't sell your vehicle on a Sunday. This law was enacted way back in 1953. It's unlawful to sell, trade, or buy motor vehicles on Sunday in Michigan due to religious reasons.
Yeah.
Time is better spent with family, friends, or church.
Well, it's just like Chick-fil-A being closed on a Sunday. Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense.
Because if you're selling a vehicle, you're working, you're distracted.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about the Lord. You're definitely not going to church because you're worried about this little transaction here.
You got to make the sale, man. Come on.
Got to make the sale.
You got to make that sale. We got to eat.
So just don't do it on Sunday.
Yeah. Number 23, in Minnesota, this should be a law here too. Dirty tires are banned. Now, I'm a Jeeper, so I get it. I hit puddles. I like mud. But at the same time, boy, I like a clean ride. So,
I do hate the big dirt clods in the road that sometimes you can miss,
yes.
sometimes you can't miss them.
Yeah, that's true.
I get it.
Yeah.
We are in the South, so...
Well, speaking of the South, check out the next one. And this might explain why they're one of the most obese states. Well, let's read it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You'll have to enlighten us.
Unhealthy
In Mississippi, nutrition labels cannot be enforced.
In Mississippi, nutrition labels cannot be enforced. So they don't know what they eat.
In 2013, lawmakers barred towns from forcing restaurants to include nutrition information or calorie counts on menus. This is known as the anti-Bloomberg bill.
Anti-Bloomberg.
Bans communities from requiring restaurants to limit portion sizes.
Wow. Interesting.
Don't limit how much I can eat, how big my mashed potato pile is there.
That's fine. We won't limit it, but you're going to pay for every single bit of it. You know what I'm saying?
Potatoes and the gravy.
So every extra scoop you get is, come on, cha-ching. All right.
That's true.
I grew up in Missouri and I knew this, and I had to quit this when I was a young child. But in Missouri, bear wrestling is banned. And so I couldn't wrestle the bears when I was growing up. It was disappointing. It really affected my childhood.
Wow.
It was wild.
You miss it.
I do. Isn't that
sad.
wild?
That's
No
sad.
bear
No bear
wrestling in Missouri?
Guys this was becoming a Friday night thing.
Yeah.
They go out and find them a bear and wrestle. Too many of them got hurt.
After 2 beers.
Had to put it on the books.
Yeah, that's right. Had to put it on the books. No more bear wrestling.
It's
exactly right.
Can't control themselves. I get it.
Yeah, I get it. Look at Nebraska's law. This
Sydney
is wild.
would be upset about this one. Our Sydney.
About the bear?
Oh, which one are you talking about? Oh, the bear in the picture.
No, which one are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about Nick 26. I was talking about number 27. But go ahead.
Oh, you skipped.
If 26 is speaking to you, read that one. Just go ahead and read it. You said Sydney. Yeah.
In Montana, it's illegal to give a rat as a present.
You think Sydney would be upset?
She likes rats.
Bro, rats?
Likes rats. She does. You can give a mouse, but you cannot give a rat.
I mean, I like the movie Ratatouille, but that's about as deep as I go with. Was he a mouse or a rat? He was a rat.
Ratatouille is a rat.
You're right. Duh.
But there's an exception.
Okay.
You can raise, sell, or give them away as food for reptiles or birds of prey.
That makes sense.
You can give as a gift then.
Got it.
Feed someone's
So you
other
can
animal.
raise them and feed them to. Oh, now
But you
that's
can't
what I would
raise
like to
them
see with a rat.
and keep them
Yeah.
as a pet.
Unreal. Golly. Speaking
give 'em
of
as a
rats, y'all, let me just say this, okay? When we lived in Proctor, we lived right by a field. And so you got the little field mice, right? We know the little mice.
the big things.
They're cute. Now, I don't think they're cute, first of all, but the kids do. So anyways, we're very accustomed to that because we had to get rid of a lot of them. Even have had them here at Crawfordsville a time or two. And so
We're by
we
fields
dispose
out
of
here.
them in the most humane way as possible. They still end up dead, but we try to do it, humanely. Well, here's the thing, y'all. I did not know that we were dealing with rats here in Arkansas. Like rats, bro. Like New York, you think of the Bronx, like the, under the sewer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rats. We were at the church the other day, and I see Sophie. She took out the trash to the dumpster area. And all of a sudden, she's waving me to come. And y'all, there was a rat in this trash can. And I'm talking, this thing looked like...
The big trash can. So he's stuck. He's
yeah,
stuck in
this
it.
dude is stuck. But this is like a Bronx, New York looking big old Master Splinter looking rat. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
He had an accent.
This thing was huge,
Boston.
man.
It was from Boston.
I'm like, I traveled from Boston on a truck. I was just shocked, though, because I'm not. So if you knew that and you knew we had rats like that here in Arkansas, why didn't y'all tell me?
He was screeching.
He was jumping. He was trying to get out.
Yeah. It's actually a possum. No, I'm kidding.
No,
it was a big rat.
This thing was a rat, dude.
We've seen possums too.
Yeah.
Or we've seen possum. Isn't it possum,
possum.
and possum?
What are you talking
Singular
about?
and
The plural?
Isn't it the same?
Well, you're the teacher. I don't know, but I think it sounds right,
I don't think
though.
you can say possums.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't think.
So you're saying
I said it, but I don't think it was right.
But you're saying the plural of possum is
It's possum.
Huh. I do
don't know.
know that there is something that is the case for. I just don't know if it's possum.
Yeah, we'll have to
but
do
it could
that.
very well be.
Yeah.
Very good.
Basically. Just a little tidbit.
We'll Google it.
In Nebraska,
Yes.
you can't get married if you have a venereal disease.
Wow. Gosh. You
Can't get married. Okay. First of all, how do they know to deny your marriage license?
Yeah.
Unless you tell them, unless they is it a question?
It's got to be on the
marriage license
application. Do you or have you recently had a venereal disease?
Is that on Arkansas's application?
Good Lord, I hope not. I don't know.
I can't remember. It's been how
Lord
many years
Jesus.
since we did, but
Wow.
I mean, you'd have to be, honest for them to know.
Yeah.
Or is there
gosh.
something where, like, if you've gone to the doctor and you have, like, it's in your record, like, they have to tell the courts that
dude.
no, this patient.
That's
Well, then that would be
wild.
against HIPAA laws. I don't know.
Yeah, it goes deep.
I guess it's on the honor system.
It goes
I
deep.
really don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Interesting.
Well, hopefully that will prevent a lot of marriages. People that just don't need to be married anyway. You know what I mean? Maybe that's a sign, and I'm going to leave that alone. Wow. And y'all, we're going to end it right here. We didn't get through all of these, but hey, we got through some of these. Nevada, I'm just going to say bah humbug, but again, I get it, and I'm going to tell you why I think why. So in Nevada, it's illegal to sit on sidewalks, and I'm really thinking maybe this has something to do with God forbid, like the homeless population, maybe, or when you think of Vegas.
I'm thinking of even Las Vegas, like thing where they don't want people, because there's so many people that are in and out and come through that place.
Exactly.
I don't know, maybe. Can I say this one,
Please.
and then we can stop? Did you say we were going to be done after that?
Yeah, I did, but say one more.
Gosh, this is so good.
Where's this one at?
31.
Okay.
It's in New Mexico.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, in quotes.
And this is a perfect one to end on, by the way, because it's Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. Idiots are banned from voting.
It literally says that. Idiots, in quotes, are banned from voting.
One law in the state of New Mexico prohibits idiots as well as insane persons convicted of a felonious or infamous crime from voting.
Man, what a concept.
To our knowledge, this crazy law, isn't enforced elsewhere. That's an issue for me. Why is this not enforced?
Yeah, like if it's on the books in New Mexico,
enforce it everywhere.
It should be on the books everywhere. I'm just saying.
This should be across.
But this goes back to how do you determine what an idiot is or who's an idiot?
Can I write that list?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's got to. Yeah, that would be good if there's a checklist. Like, please answer.
Got to be a checklist.
But when they're filling it out, they don't know that they're filling it out to determine if they're an idiot or not.
What is that determination?
Right.
I need it. I want to know it.
Hilarious.
I'll have to do some more research on that one.
Hilarious. Well,
hilarious.
Hope that was fun or funny or something. Maybe even you got some knowledge, because I gained some knowledge.
Yeah,
always fun to do some crazy stuff like that. And so we'll get back to talking about a little more serious topics. We are close to episode 100, guys. And so we're trying to maybe plan something, do something a little special for episode 100. So we'll see. But again, hey, as always, follow, like, subscribe, do all those things. And thank you for joining us on the Junto Podcast. That's right, the Together Podcast. Are we dorks for doing that? It is what it is. We're just going to keep doing it, I think.
I don't know. We do it together.
We do it together. And we're doing life together. And this whole podcast is about being together.
I think you're making fun of me.
No, I'm making fun of our content.
Okay, making fun of ourselves.
Yes.
Of each other. Of us.
Be blessed, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Junto Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find our link to YouTube and social media at juntopodcast.com. Remember to subscribe, like, and follow. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.